Hi there, my friend. Join me with your choice of drink. Tastes good. Well, today was a good day for me. We're talking about the stock market. And depending on if you're in it or not, I may be able to encourage you to take a look at it because that's basically how I make my living. Okay? So you're going to hear some secrets. Let me set this over here because I can't tell secrets while I'm having my favorite drink, or I'll say the wrong thing. Okay, Jim, that's me. What do I have for you? I bought my first stocks as a teenager. And then, off and on through my life, I turned, I stayed in the stock market, but I turned it over to financial advisors that totally lost probably 50% of the money I gave them to invest. I'm not saying stay away from them. My gosh, I'd love to have 20 to interview right now and see how they're doing. I'd pick one. Um, but let me tell you something about this. A financial advisor took tests and passed them. I could I could sell I could sell not stocks but mutual funds and annuities through Metropolitan Life when I worked for them when I was 26 and 27. Did I know anything about them? No. But legally I could sell you annuity. Didn't know what I was really committing you to, but if I did it, which I never did sell stocks or annuities, and I am not a financial advisor. I'm not credentialed in any form of I want to say I'm not credentialed in running a business um, such as a financial advice business. Now, the financial advisors I've had have lost me approximately 50% of what they started with. Now, it was over a long time. And because of that, I didn't look at the statements that came in. The statements would come in maybe every month or every 3 months. And I trusted them. They were nice people. The only thing is, they had me in things that they made a lot of money in, and they could care less if I was making money. I mean, they wanted me to make money, of course. They wanted me to make money, but I wasn't making money. I was losing money. And the last financial advisor, he had me in gold. Now, this was many years ago. Gold's going up now. I'm in gold now, but I think the gold took me down about 50%. That and Biotech, which is um, companies that make drugs. Between those two, you lose 50%. You don't feel too good when you work your whole life to earn it, and you believe in these people because they're friendly and nice and tell you how wonderful they've done. So after I cut the last financial advisor, started reading books, and I started looking at the stocks that were doing well. How about that? Going on the internet and going to you could go to Vanguard.com. You could go to Fidelity, Fidility, Fidelity.com. You can go to any of the Schwab. I've never been on their website. I've had an account with them once, but they had such high fees at that time. I went to Louisville and closed it down in person. I don't know if they're still in Louisville or not. They're a good company now because they don't charge a commission. Fidelity does not charge commission, and Vanguard does not charge commission. There's a lot of others that don't charge commission. When I say that, I can buy one share of a stock and not pay a penny to buy it. Okay, now, today was a good day. We've had a run of bad days. Why do we have a run of bad days? All this wiggle stuff about charging countries for doing business with us, trying to. Well, you know what I'm talking about if you've watched the news. Can't even think of the name of what we call this. Where you put a tax, you don't call it a tax, but you put a charge on anything imported in, and it raises the price on our end, of course. But the thought is we're going to come out ahead because we've been losing money for many, many years. And if you have watched the news at all, I don't need to tell you the name of what I've just forgotten. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Because all of a sudden, a country will be told they're going to have a 20% tax, 40% tax. They don't call it tax. I'll think of the name in a minute. But and then they'll take it off, or they'll lower it, and then all of a sudden the stock market will go up and down, because nobody knows what the reaction of the other countries are. You know, and it can change, and it does change. And if you watch the news, you see it change. You see, as the president changes his mind, tariffs. That's the name I forgot. Tariffs. Same as tax. So as he changes tariffs to make a deal, it wobbles the stock market. He's doing this all the time. Different countries. Well, he met with this week. He met with Putin, the president of Russia. Ukraine. He met with the president of Ukraine. And heaven knows how many more presidents he met with. Now, each time this goes on, a new deal's being made. A new agreement. Let's call it agreement. Not a deal, but an agreement. And I'm sitting there watching my income from the stock market go down. I think it went down 6 or 7 days in a row lately in the last couple of weeks. But today, due to what's called the Fed, no, the Fed's not connected to the president. The Fed's an independent guy or organization that depends if they need to raise the rates or lower the rates that we pay for cars and houses and other things. Interest. Well, guess what? Some people say he's made some wrong guesses in the past, and that's what's caused things to wobble around. Let's call it wobble rather than a crash of the stock market or a downward swing of the stock market. Let's call it wiggling. The wiggles. Because it happens every day. It changes. It's either the Fed or it's the president. Okay, so I've been in this field for a while, since teenage years. So this doesn't shake me too much. So everybody was thinking he may raise it. Even yesterday, they said the Fed, I don't know what his name is. I don't care what his name is. He's going to retire. He's going to be, his term's out in a few months. But they thought he was going to raise it. Stock market goes down low. But instead he lowers it today. Or was it yesterday he lowered it? He lowered the interest rates. Well, now more people can buy houses and cars and keep their businesses alive. And keep the restaurants open. Okay? All of a sudden, what do you think happened to the stock market today? I don't need to tell you, you know what happened to the stock market. It skyrocketed. So did my income. When I say my income, it's not my income till I sell the stocks. So something told me to get up I never get up early, but at about 15 till 9, I woke up and I said, go down there to your computer, turn on Fidelity.com. That's my broker. See what's happening to gold. The gold that I own is called Kinross Gold Mining Corporation. That's spelled Kinross. Kinross Gold Mining Corporation. The symbol, the only thing you need to know is the symbol to get to it. K like in KGC. K like in Kenny or Kenneth. That was my brother. G like in good, like it's a good day. C like in company, you're in good company. KGC is what I was looking for. It made over 100% profit for people last year. Look it up. It's very easy to look it up. You can look you can look it up very easy, about free for looking at well, any major place that sells stocks. But I'm thinking about I do mine through Amazon, as I told you, and but if you don't have an account with Amazon, you don't get all the research. So I'll just tell it to you so you don't have to worry about it and try to find it. Or you can just go to Google and put that in there. Put that in there. Put the KGC stock performance on Google and hit it, and they'll probably give you the same information I'm going to say right now. They made over 100% last year. If you'd have had $1,000, you would have made 2,000. This is a gold mining company. I'm going to challenge you here. You look it up and see how it's done since January of this year. I can't tell you off the top of my head, but I'm saying it's racing toward 100% for the year, and probably much more than 100% of what you put in January. In other words, what I'm saying is that gold mining stock, is doing better this year than it did last year. So I got up 15 to 9. And I never wake up that early. Okay, I'm retired. And I say to myself, go down there and take every penny you have in the account that's not in stocks. Take every penny and put it in that stock before 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock is when the stock market starts spinning. I never have that intuition. God doesn't speak to me quite like that. Never. But I thought, all of a sudden, the tiredness of that, getting up that time, threw my house coat on, went down there, went to Fidelity.com, put in the symbol KGC, KGC for Kinross Gold Mining Corporation. And the reason I'm hanging on to this stock is because if you look at the last year or two, it's done over 100%. So if you had 5,000 in there, you'd end up with 10,000. So I took everything I had and I put it in there to buy at whatever the market price started at for that stock. And I bought it. And needless to say, I was glad I bought it. It just started going up and up and up. Okay. You say, okay, Jimmy, you bought something and it went up. What's next? How about me selling Apple computer? Something I said I would never sell. I've owned it so long, and I promised myself I'd never sell it. But I went to my account and sold quite a lot with the idea that I'm going to put it in that gold stock. However, let me also mention that Apple had gone up $2 or $3 a share, so I wasn't losing what it had been yesterday. These technology stocks, someone has a problem with, when I say technology, I'm talking about Google and Apple, things like that. So I went ahead and sold quite a bit. Not everything, but enough to give me some play money to buy gold on Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday. I will not buy gold completely with all the money that's available from my sale today. And let me tell you why. You want to dollar cost average. Okay? You don't know what people are thinking, do you? So, I might buy $300 worth on Monday if it's up. No, if it's down, doesn't matter. Because if it's going to make over 100% this year, I want it anyhow. So we're mid-year, right? So let's get in. Let's get in on the party. Even if I don't buy it at the exact right price, it doesn't matter if the stock does 100 or 150%. So I'm put in 300, 500 on Monday. I'll watch it on Tuesday. If it goes down because people took a profit, I'll buy another 500. Now, it won't go down much because it's a very low price stock, okay? Like $30 or so. So it's not going to go down a lot. But when you talk about 100 or 150, or no, let's just say 100% return on it, it doesn't matter that it's just a $30 or $35 stock. In fact, let me see if I know what the price is. I don't have the price there. It's somewhere between $30 and $35 a share. So I'll take this money and I will dollar cost average. That means you buy some each day or each week because of the fluctuation of people buying and selling it. You want to buy it at a low price, not the highest price. So that's why you don't want to buy it all at one time. If you buy it all at one time, you may be buying it at the highest price, and then you missed all that percentage. If it fell and went back up, you've just lost all that percentage in the gap. And that percentage could be very, 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 very significant with a stock like this. Like I said, I'm not recommending it. I'm not a certified financial advisor of any type, but I am an experienced. I'm experienced. Would you rather have an experience? A person giving you their thoughts, or would you rather have someone that just completed an exam that's 23 years old that works for a gosh, there's so many companies that Charles Schwab was just one I mentioned. Vanguard's another one. Fidelity's the one I use. That doesn't make them bad because you buy them on. You're not going to call them up. You're going to do this yourself on the computer with zero commission on buying and selling. You don't care about who's behind it. They're just there to keep the office open. Let me look and see if there's anything else I would recommend. I'm in, and probably will continue to be in, a company named Main, M-A-I-N. Again, Maine. M like Mary, A like an apple, I like in India, and N like in November. Now, I've been in it many, many, many years since I first heard it announced. You're not going to make 100%. You might make 20, 30% a year. Did you know when I first got in the stock market, 8% a year was normal? And that was based upon Vanguard with John Bogle. He charged the least commission. And at that time, I don't know what year it is, the normal amount you made was 8%. Not 8% a day, 8% a year. Now, we're talking about things that may go up 8% a day. My gosh, I'm not going to name the companies I'm in. I may get I may get killed if I told you the names I'm in and you take it as gospel and you lose money on it. But this one, the two I'm mentioning today, Maine is the second one. What it does, MAIN, what it does is it's like a big bank, but it's not a bank. They loan money out to companies that find it hard to get financing from the bank, or the bank's charging them too much. Now, I don't know too much about Maine. I know there's other companies. I've owned other companies that do this. Part of the deal with some of these companies that loan out money is they get to own part of the company too. Now, can't promise you this is true, but if you come to me and I need $1,000, you might say, yeah, I'll give it to you for this amount of interest, but I like 10% of your company forever. So as your company becomes bigger, we get that profit too. It'll be just 10%. And then we're still making the interest on the money we lend you. Now, let me tell you why I like Maine and why you might want to look at it. And that's the symbol, MAIN. That's a symbol when you look it up. Why you may like it is, what do you think about a company that pays dividends every month? You say they don't do that. They pay quarterly, just quarterly, 4 times a year. All the big companies just pay, if they pay at all, they pay 4 times a year. Now, sometimes they only pay 2 times a year, depending on the company, but 4 times a year. What drew me to Maine is they pay dividends each month, and they announce it. If you're on Fidelity Investments, they tell you when you have to buy it in order to receive the dividends. That's not the truth. That's not the whole truth. They've paid more than once a month. That's what grabbed me. How about 2 or 3 more times? Just for fun. Because they're making so much money. Jim, are you telling me companies pay normally, if they pay at all, quarterly, 4 times a year? And now you're telling me there's a company called Maine that pays 12 times a year? And then you tell me you're lying because they don't just pay 12 times a year. They kick in another 2 or more dividends. Look it up. Look it up. No, not just 12, maybe 14 or more dividends. Okay, now I'm telling you how I live on stocks. What I haven't shared with you is that even though I said in the beginning I sold a lot of Apple computers today so I can buy more gold next week. I kept the Apple. I only sold a little. They have dividends too. Yeah, they pay dividends quarterly. You got to look all this up to find out when, where, and what time and all that. Well, guess what? Kinross Gold Mining Company pays dividends. I think quarterly, every 4 months, 3 months. And then here I am saying, here's Maine, and they're paying 12 dividends plus a bonus of 2 or more. Jim, are you crazy? How'd you find this stuff? Well, if you started buying when you were 14 years old, you may have learned this stuff too. Did you start? Did you lose 50% of your money once because a financial advisor's giving you bad advice? Or in 2008 of this, talking about right now, 2008 and 9, did you lose 80% of your money because of the housing crash and the banking crash? Did you do that? I did. Yeah. I lost, I think it was 60% in 2008 and 9. Look it up. I mean, I'm not kidding you folks. I thought I was going to live on the street. I honestly thought I was going to be living on the street. Take your money right now, everything you own, and see what happens if you lose 60, 70, or 80% of your money, depending on what your financial advisor tells you to do. And I know many financial advisors have told their clients to sell it all because we are having a complete crash down. That's the truth because I talk to them and I see how they live. And one lives on one social security check of about 1,000 or so. Thank goodness the government gave her free Medicaid, free Medicare, and paid for a lot of the utilities. I help this person. I see him. I try to see him every month, every week, to try to put the life back together again. Okay, you're saying, Jim, how many people you know sold all their stock out in 2008 and 9 because the financial advisor told them to? I can't tell you the number. I was shocked because I'm a person too, and I wouldn't be that way. Did you know I didn't sell out? I just went down. I went down the tunnel. I went down the tunnel. I went down the tunnel. And you're saying, well, why are you where you are now? Because of one thing. There's a mutual fund investor named John Templeton. John Templeton started the Templeton Fund with borrowed money after he got out of college. John Templeton, look this up. This isn't brain science, and I'm not lying. He borrowed money and he put it in the fund. I think the first fund was called the Templeton Foreign Fund. It dealt with stocks that were in foreign countries. And he published for books I haven't read by him. But I had one person not let me go to sleep till I bought one of his funds. By then he had probably two. And I don't know, $50, $100, whatever I had, just to get them off my back so I could go to sleep. So 8.5% commission. Now we have no commissions. This is 8.5 commission. Okay, yeah, I'll sign a check. Just give me $50 or $100 worth. Probably $50 worth, though. I was in bad shape financially. This is before the 2008 and 10. This was way back, long time ago. This was a long time ago. I didn't even know what a mutual fund was. He had to explain it to me. I wasn't in the stock market at that time. See? I said I was in it when I was about 14, but I went to college, got out of it, didn't get back in probably till I met him, and he wouldn't let me go to bed till I signed the contract to enter into this mutual fund. Mutual fund owns at a minimum of 20 stocks, and I think they can't own more than 5% of any one stock. But I'm just telling you, that's what I had to deal with. So that's how I got back into the stock market. I got back into the stock market because I didn't want to, but I wanted to sleep. And then I followed up and started putting money in, $25 here, 15 here, 10 here, Anything I wanted to, I could put it in the Templeton Fund. Then I went into the Pioneer 2 Fund. Similar fund. Did about the same. And that's how I got into this, through these 2 mutual funds. If it wasn't for this fellow pushing me, I probably would be like some of you that's not in a mutual fund or in the stock market, because you didn't have anyone pushing you. You didn't have anyone hammering at you saying, do this or you don't go to bed. Okay. After the 2000 that crash in 2008, 9, and 10, I borrowed money. I thought I was going to be living on the street. I didn't sell out. Stocks were selling for $3 a share. I said, okay, I'm going to borrow money, and I'm going to buy anything. And John Templeton, the one I told you I bought his stocks, he said he started his company by borrowing money and buying anything that was $100 a share or less, even if they were in bankruptcy. And in bankruptcy, it doesn't mean you're totally bankrupt in most cases. It means you're reorganizing. That's got a different name. You got chapter 10, chapter 7, chapter whatever. Okay, some of those pulled out of bankruptcy. When they did, he made big money on it because they came back to life again and made money. So I took this is the only thing that pulled me out to where I am right now. I took his thought of buying any stock in this case, he was buying them on the New York Stock Exchange, but the NASDAQ, NASDAQ's over-the-counter stocks. You probably know what it is. A lot of your companies, including Apple, are on the NASDAQ company platform. So I started looking each day at the lowest. You can do this. You can Google it. Find the lowest stocks for the day. I would do this every day. I'd say, what's the lowest today? And if I see something that I recognized, I'd buy it. Not many shares, but a few. And some of them didn't make it, okay? Circuit City didn't make it. It went bankrupt. It was 33 cents. Okay. Ford was 95 cents. Well, I made money on that. Not a lot. It's not one of the leading money-making stocks right now, but at least it's up there toward $12 or $15. And then there were other ones like HOG, H-O-G. They changed their name from Harley Davidson, which was H-D. That became Home Depot. They switched it to hog, H-O-G. And I think I paid more than $1 for it. Well, you look it up and see what it is now. Hog, H-O-G. So anything that was $1 or less was in the buying range. And I'm approaching a long time here, but to wind this up, I'm going to say this. I wanted so much not to live on the street. And I made, in the next 3 years, 2 years, 3 years, I made so much profit when the stock market went up. I paid off my house, saying I'll never have the thought of living on the street again. And here we are. If you've got questions you want to ask, feel free to. I will try to answer them, but I get a lot. And if I don't answer them, know that I wish you the best. I can't promise you fame or fortune, but I can tell you I had a scary ride. In 2008 and 9, I had the scariest ride when you see all your money go down the tube. And that happened to be my 401k and individual retirement accounts. And I was probably around 60 then. I'm 86 now. You figure it out. Think about what it's like to go down to almost zero. And we're talking about your retirement that you've saved all your life for. And you see it disappear. And you build it back by borrowing from a few people that know you and trust you. Yeah, we'll loan you some money to buy some stocks. Another person says, well, we'll loan you money to buy some stocks. And every day I started buying stocks that were worth less than $1. Some days I bought stocks and they went up quite a bit, and I sold them the same day, thinking I don't want to lose that profit. That's the absolute truth. Many times they would go up and double. And I'd say, gee, it went from 33 cents to 66, I'm going to sell. And then they'd go on past $1, $2, $3, $4, $5, $6, $10. Well, I paid everybody back. Not only with that, but a huge commission check. Except I paid them in cash. I started not believing in banks then, so everything was in cash. There was a cash and housing crash. That's why I thought I'd be living on the streets and be penniless. Okay, now you know 3 stocks that I own. I own more, but I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not going to share more than I like these 3 and I keep buying them. If you like this, if it means anything to you, if you've learned anything from this, and I can promise you it's all true. I thought I'd live on the street. In 2000, during that 2010, 11 and 12, forgive me if I've messed up the dates, because very emotional right now. I'm reliving something that I don't want to live again. Thanks for staying with me. And I know maybe 1 or 2 have. And other people said, this guy's crazy. Well, I may be crazy, but what I've told you is the truth. Why would I lie to you on a subject like this and a day like this when the stock market blossomed and I started selling out so that I'd have money when it went back down? I could start buying again. You know my secrets. Say hi to me. God bless you. May God prosper you, heal you from all diseases, and may you follow him. And I'll end here. Thanks for watching.